Are you off to uni in the future? And are you still unsure on how to pick a uni course? Well, don't worry, you've come to the right place. Come in, get comfy, and we'll hopefully talk you through it, advising you on what you should be looking for when picking your course to get the best out of it and the best out of your university experience. Sound alright? Stick around and let's get into the video. Just a quick heads up, this video is going to be split into two parts. Part one, it'll be about narrowing the selection down and showing the method of how to pick a uni course. Whereas the second part will be tailored towards, right, I know I want to study in this broad area, but how do I pick between different courses at different unis? Or possibly different versions of the course at the same uni? And that's what the second part will be tailored towards. If you're only interested in that, it'll be timestamped below. Just jump to that point and I'll see you very soon. But without further ado, let's jump in to how you can pick a uni course. So, how to pick a uni course, where do you start? Well, you can do what I call working it backwards. So if you know the job you want to do at the end of your university time, you can look to see whether there's a certain degree you need to do in order to fulfill that. So the obvious one is, say, medicine. If you want to go and be a doctor, you have to do some sort of medicine, undergrad, postgrad, doctorate, you know what I'm trying to say here. Or if you're trying to be a lawyer, then you have to do the law, undergrad, all the way up. So it can be a predefined route like that. But if that's the case, brilliant, there's your course, picked it, top job. If you know which career you want to do, but you're not sure if there's a university degree you need to do in order to do that career, what you can do is reach out to some companies in that sector. You can reach out to their HR team and ask, is there a particular degree that they value at undergrad or beyond that? It might be that they do, it might be that they don't, but by asking them, number one, you're showing that you're interested, and number two, I'm sure they'll be happy to help, because who wouldn't want a bigger pool of potential employees to pick from in the future? But I can hear you saying through the camera, Joe, I don't know what I want to do for a job, and that's absolutely fine. The number of jobs people have over a lifetime is going up and up and up and up, and employers are recognising that, and what they're starting to look for is more the transferable skills you learn during your time at university, as opposed to the actual specialised information, with obvious caveats to that rule. So again, medicine, engineering, certain things like that. An engineering degree can take you to all sorts of things. Other degrees like that include economics and business. So maybe you want to pick a uni course like that offers you a wide range of things you can do afterwards. A more generalised as opposed to specialised degree. Because if you do want to specialise, you can always do so later with a master's in that field. Now, for the matter of picking a uni course like this, you can base it off what you've learnt about in school, anything that you particularly excelled at or enjoyed learning, or something that you've sort of touched on and read around but never really got into or never had the chance to study before. You could pick a course like that. But the main thing is to pick a course that wakes you up and energises you. It's you at the end of the day studying the course, not your friends or not your parents. If you lose motivation at uni, you don't have as many prompts to get back on the study train, as I'm going to call it here. So going to uni and then dropping out afterwards because you haven't enjoyed your course, you haven't got the work in, is a lot worse option than just picking the course you want to do in the first place and just bite the bullet and jump in and pick the course you want to. Particularly if the course goes then on to impact the mental health side of things, you're better off just picking a course that you know you would enjoy. Hopefully I'm starting to answer your question here of what I should study at uni. At the end of part one, I just want to discuss that once you've got a broad idea, what you can do is go onto a university website. You can look at the different departments they've got. You can either run through all the courses on their website, or you could choose by department and just see if there's a title that stands out to you. And once you've got this title, you can do some more digging. You can click on, you can look at the optional modules that they offer. And then if you really want to take it another step further, you can go onto another part of their website and get the module description for each module and really break it down and read it. And that should help to give you the best answer on what you should study at uni and how you can pick your course. It's just another way to help you pick your uni course. I'm thinking about going more in depth with this. I plan to do a whole video on optional modules and what to pick and what to look for. So if you're interested in that, when the video comes out, I'll link it here, up above, or is it here? I'm not sure. Either way, it'll be linked up there to jump on and go and have a look if it interests you. But looking at the modules like this can first of all help you to understand broadly what the topic covers. But it can also show you the unique spin a university puts on the course. So that could be the first factor of part number 2 of this video on deciding between two different unis. What I mean by this is that every uni will teach the course slightly differently, no matter where you do it. So by comparing, say, the optional modules for architecture at one uni and architecture at another uni, you begin to see what's the same and what's different, what the broad area will be covered, and again the unique spin in that can help you decide between two different places. Might be that one module run by that one university that helps you pick between the two. On the subject of unique teaching styles, one might teach towards a Bachelor of Arts and one might teach towards a Bachelor of Science. This is another video I'm thinking about doing in the future, but it's just things to bear in mind. It will mean they'll be taught in a completely different way. That's other things to look out for with the teaching style. Drop it down in the comments below if you'd like me to do a video on something like this. With the teaching style, you also want to look at how you're assessed. If you're somebody who performs particularly well in coursework, for instance, it might be worth you picking a uni course that has a lot of coursework based, whereas if you perform better in exam time, you might be better off picking a uni course that has a lot of exam based testing. When picking a uni course, you're also going to want to look at the contact hours you've got, how many, whether you think you'd be better as an independent learner or whether you'd be better with more seminars, and how they're spread out during the week. I know one London uni likes to get everything done in a few days right at the start of the week and then give you time off, whereas other unis I know, like the University of Reading, it's all spread out pretty evenly throughout the week. Another big question you'll want to ask is the course done at a university that you would want to study at? Now, I'm not going to touch too heavily on this because I did a full video on it that I will link either here or here, and go and check that out. I would strongly recommend you make sure that the university is right for you, and again I list it all there so there's no point me talking about it now. But the one thing I would suggest is if you can go to open days, if you can get a feel of the place, you can see how you fit in, it could really help you to pick between two different university courses. And when you're there on the open day, you can get a feel for the place itself. Don't forget to ask lots of questions because that can really help you pick the course if you see a lecturer or if you see about the accommodation. Do you need catered? Do you need self-catered? All things to bear in mind. And I would also advise taking photos and making notes because you don't want all the places to blend into one in your head. When you're trying to pick between two different universities down the line, you want to know exactly what you've got at which university and you don't have to keep remembering what goes where. You'll also want to take into account whether the course is accredited or not. This is something I'll touch a lot more on in a later date, which again, when I do it, I'll link it up in the video. I'm saying that a lot today. But it's essentially continued professional development for when you finish university, so you'll do training for a prolonged period after you've finished your course. How long the training lasts depends on who your employer is and which sector it is, but it again enhances your learning further, it adds more weight to your name. Literally, you get to put letters after your name and you become chartered, and I know that it can also help your pay packet. So that's something that might interest you, it's something that might not. It's just something else to take into account when choosing between two different uni courses. Grades are something else that come into play. You want to be optimistic, but if you're being very optimistic with all of your choices, it might be worth scaling one back and just having one as like a safety net insurance uni. One thing I do want to say is if you think you found the perfect course, but you're worried that the grade requirements are a lot lower than the grades you're predicted, don't let that factor into how to decide between two different university courses. Something that resonates with me, as I was told by a teacher, is that some schools only get really high grades on the other side, so all 2-1s and 1-1s, because they only accept full A-star students at A-level in the first place. So only letting the smarts of the smart in, and that's what they're getting at the end. The mark of a good university is somewhere that will take people who will get, say, I know this is an extreme example, but you, and then turn them into a full set of first-class students. That's the mark of a good university, and that's something to look out for. So I would say definitely don't worry about that. It actually could be a sign of good teaching at the uni. A sign of a good uni is one that can improve their students. But on grades, something else that can be taken into consideration is GCSE grades. I know that languages at GCSE are something some unis look at, so it might be worth doing that if, say, you didn't study a language, or they could have different factors. That was just one that I noted. If you're still struggling to pick between two different universities, you can also factor in league tables. So you can Google something like best UK unis for economics, and there will be a list come up. Again, don't put too much weight on them because they can be influenced by things like advertising and a lot by people's opinion. But if you're going through and one of the universities has like a 1 out of 10 score for student satisfaction, probably take that as a red flag, and then you can pick the other course at the other uni, if that's something that's a red flag in your head. If you're still stuck on how to pick your course, you can use 2 of the tips I mentioned in my How to Pick a University video, and those can be to write down the advantages and disadvantages of going to each or to study a particular course. Just putting it down on paper can help you to visualize things better. And the other thing you can do is to do the flip the penny thing, where you assign one course to one side of the penny, one side to the other, flip the penny, whichever it lands on, you either get the feeling of relief or elation, and you go off the feeling rather than off the heads or tails. But no, how to pick a uni course is actually a really hard question, and I hope I've made it at least a little bit easier for you. If I have, please drop it down in the comments below and let me know. If you've made it this far through the video, you may as well hit subscribe for more information-based university content. And as always, thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day.